Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We've got some news on Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Very long title. Some story details have been revealed. The time period has been revealed. And I just think this is interesting. This is a movie which I'm semi-looking forward to. I quite like the trailer, to be honest. And I quite like these movies overall. Not going to lie, I generally quite enjoy them. I think the last one was a bit of a letdown. But the first two were, pretty decent. Again, I know I'm probably in the minority with that, but hey, I'm still going to give you a piece of news update on it. Because you guys might like this, you never know. So hit subscribe if you're new here, no pressure if not, but turn the bell notifications on and give the video a like and a share. So, Empire Online has been doing its sort of weekly spiel, monthly spiel that it likes to do, where a studio will, essentially pay them to boost their product. But they've got the lowdown, so this is all from them. And it says, when War for the Planet of the Apes concluded with the death of Caesar, a lot of fans are pretty shocked. I don't think so, to be fair. It's pretty much a given that kind of would have happened to a degree. I mean, he had to disappear at some point, is kind of the point I'm trying to make. But it was a pretty self-contained unit. And then it would lead into the original series, was what a lot of people thought. We're still kind of waiting for that, which I think they are taking their time on it a little bit. Which they really should probably get to it now, quite frankly. But never mind. So this isn't Caesar's son at all, because this is going to be 300 years in the future after the last movie. But I think that's interesting, because then that really puts humans at the disadvantage now, or at least, I guess, regress them 300 years without technology and civilization. Not overly sure whether that's realistic, that 300 years would regress humans that much, but I guess knowledge would get lost and things like that. So potentially, but I'm keen to see what happens and how they justify it. So Empire Online explains that in the generations which have passed since Caesar's time, his message of apes together strong has largely been lost, which is why we see in the trailer sort of, different factions of apes, basically. So Noah, however, appears to live by that creed despite knowing little of his kind's original leader. So he doesn't really know who Caesar is. And this is the thing. So the actor, Owen Teague, says Noah has no idea who Caesar is. Part of his journey is a discovery of that legacy and its various interpretations. Noah has to make sense of what it all means. So that's interesting. And looking at the trailer, it does look like it's almost like they discover electricity by the looks of it at some point. They sort of go into some underground bunker, and it might be that they actually go to the original medical facility. So there is a villain. The villain's name is Proximus Caesar, and that's played by Kevin Durand. And he explains Caesar is almost a religious figure, and Proximus has taken on the name Caesar, because it was the highest position held in ape society. It was a self-proclamation that was achieved by any means necessary to ensure that apes continue to evolve. So you're seeing the influence and the evolution of what Caesar left, and like in every morsel of human history, there's always some type of tyrant who comes along and scares everyone into believing them. So let's sort of break that down. Let's discuss that. I actually quite like that. Because you have Noah having no idea who Caesar is remotely, right? Doesn't know who Caesar is, but he kind of lives by that nature, apes together strong, and that's that intrinsic moralistic nature that Caesar sort of had. I like that, because then on the flip side you then have the villain Proximus Caesar, taking the namesake, taken something which is, at least in their society of apes, because they are like a split-off faction, twisting it. And you see this in modern-day interpretations of religion anyway. You see people twisting bits and pieces around and things like this, or cult leaders, whatever you want to liken it to. We all can think of something which leads to this sort of element. And I think that's fascinating, personally. And it's interesting that they say there's always some type of tyrant who comes along and scares everyone. Now, when they say that you know, he's basically trying to ensure that apes continue to evolve. I do wonder how and what sort of, well, how they're going to do that. I mean, they seem to be at their, I mean, they seem pretty bloody evolved, to be honest, like when we last saw them. So I don't know how evolved you're going to get. Again, maybe it's that electricity thing, because it did look like that's what they were going with. But I like this. I think this is fascinating stuff. Proximus Caesar, yeah, it's that sort of, I guess, sort of vilification of the name, twisting it around, perverting it. So it sounds like Noah is the true heir to the Caesar throne. I disagree. This is just what this site is saying. But filmmaker Wes Ball says, from the beginning, we thought about this as a trilogy. We had these grand ideas of where it could ultimately go and how it could fit into the legacy of these movies. So I'm certainly talking to the studio right now about the next story. So it looks like they want to make another trilogy. So you've already got the trilogy, you know, Planet of the Apes trilogy anyway. And it's looking like they conceived this as another trilogy, which makes sense. Completely different time period. You can move the story on quite nicely. And then, my God, please, hopefully tie it back to the original. Get back to the original Planet of the Apes. That'd be great. Because then you come full circle, and then that'd be really nice. You sort of put a little bow in it, and it's done. And more often than not, you get these sort of, you know, studio companies very reluctant to do that, to finish it. But you've got to finish it somewhere, and it takes some balls, because you don't want to close off the income stream. But at that point, I think that's where people go, yeah, I can appreciate this. I respect this company more. And a trilogy, again, you're separating them by 300 years. I think that could work nicely. So the last three movies were about the end of something. They're about the end of this Moses story. They're about the end of humanity, Wes Ball says. And we thought, from the ashes of those previous movies, we're going to grow a new tree to climb. This movie is very much about the beginning of something. What, though? Beginning of ape civilization? Apes and humans working together? Like, what is it the beginning of? Because even in this, I can't really interpret that as anything specific. I would imagine it. Well, no, it still doesn't make sense to me, because even if you compare it to the originals, it wasn't like they were working together with bloody humans, was it? So I don't really know, to be honest. The beginning of apes evolving a bit more, maybe? Who knows? But there you go. I mean, I'm interested in this, so I thought I'd do a video. Let me know what you think down below. Be keen to hear it. Give the video a like and a share, like I said at the start, and hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video and staying up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.